I almost clicked stop streaming. I was like so close to clicking stop streaming. It was like, I don't know, 3 pixels difference. It was, well, okay, probably not 3, but it was pretty darn close. But we mainly write code just so we can use Nix to package it. Missing the forest for the trees. Hardcore. Yeah, so we're going to do more Nix stuff for OCaml today. The first thing I want to do is make sure, especially that the mint tea flake is working the way that I think it is. And we're just going to do like a quick verification of a couple things. So the first thing is if we go into the flake, there it is. The main thing that makes mint tea different than all of the other things is that it actually inputs, it has a recursive input, if you will, or you could say it inputs itself into Flake. Nix is an OS and a package manager and a language. All go by the name Nix. So correct, you can use Nix on basically any Unix-based operating system. So in my case, hashtag work pays MacBook. So we are using Nix on Mac as we speak. Yeah. But if you want Nix to completely control everything you do, then you go to NixOS, which, you know, has pros and cons. So the main thing that makes the mint tea flake different than our other flakes is it does have this input of itself right here. And that is basically by saying, I want the Riot dependency on this flake to follow the current version of this flake, not some other version of this flake, right? And we do that for a couple of reasons. The main one being that we have, this is a monorepo. We have a package called spices, which Riot depends on. And then we have a package called mint tea, which depends on Riot. And then we have a package called leaves, which depends on mint tea and thus implicitly Riot, right? If we follow that dependency tree. And it also depends on spices directly and indirectly through the Riot dependency on spices. So if we did this in a naive way, which we started with many different ways of trying to do this. Hey, Purplish, yep, doing some Nix. I still have this on here. This is not supposed to be on here anymore. And this isn't supposed to be on here anymore. Okay, so let's check out the current version, and Leo's gonna love me for opening yet another PR for Nix on mint tea. We just know he's gonna love me for it. Oh, I was not supposed to make changes here because this has already been merged. So let's actually do this real quick. And what's the diff on flake.nix? Oh, I never actually pushed all of these changes up. Okay. So actually, most of this has already been done. So actually, this is my working branch anyway. I didn't realize that. Okay, good. I thought I had already like put a pull request in for this change, and then I was about to put in another one, but that's not the case. So that makes me feel a little bit better. I kind of remember that there might be, whoops, I meant to whip that. Let's see what our log is. Yeah. So let's whip that. Let's check out main, and I kind of think there's a new version of mint tea. So let's check this out and make sure, probably rebase and see how we go. Those strings sound like a convoy of cars. It's funny. Let's see. What were we doing? Oh yeah, I wanted to look at the current version, which should be in the Dune project, but doesn't have to be. Yeah. Okay. I kind of think we're on version 003 now. Since OPam is literally just created with the Dune project file, it's probably not going to tell me anything special. And it's not. Okay. Exciting. Although I am kind of wondering if I looked up leaves.opam, is it going, it just uses that same equals version thing. Okay. I do kind of hate like there being an implicit version in some ways, but that's okay. I can live. You took your headphones out and was about to head into the balcony so you can do your Oh, it was on the music. I get it now. Yeah. That's pretty funny. There's a new band in this playlist that I'm trying out. I haven't completely decided if I like them. It's this band that just does instrumentals with 2 bassists and a drummer. They do a little bit of synth, and we'll see if we can flow with it. Okay, so let's just look at the Minty repo and see what version we're on. Yep, we are on 0.0.3. That's what I was wondering. So the first thing we're going to do then is go back to our branch and rebase. So let's check out Nix and rebase main. Figured we wouldn't have problems with that. And let's go ahead and bump up our version 2 to 3. And we still say plus dev because that's what it is. That's what it is, right? 3 has already been released. So we're just calling this like the dev on 003. I could stop even versioning this and just call it dev because Leo's probably never going to remember to actually update this when he does his like tagged release. But oh well. Okay. Get rebase main, did that. And we changed the version. Let's undo our whip so that I don't have a bunch of dumb commits. And let's try a Nix build. There could be dependency changes that weren't brought in, so I wouldn't be surprised if this fails. Low level learning, huge raid. Thanks for the raid, man. I really appreciate that. We were just talking about you. I saw you were doing some not Nix. I'm doing Nix. You were doing some Rust, which is awesome. We do quite a bit of Rust on the stream here. So that was cool to see. Go follow Low Level Learning, my huge audience, if you don't already. Rust, I did 30 seconds and then went off in an assembly tangent. Awesome. Well, welcome, Raiders. I'm Meta Me. I do a little bit of OCaml, a little bit of Nix, a little bit of Rust, 3 to 4 days a week. And yeah, Rust doesn't solve everything, does it? For the rusty people, let's see, this Nix build is going through. We can show you a couple things. Currently, I'm working on this silly CLI tool in Rust. That's called Poly. But Nix will save us. You've got that right, all that for. What's up, BG? Let's see. What did I call this? I can't remember what this one is. Maybe it's just DSA. There we go. But I did do a bunch of data structures in Rust, and I'm going to continue that and redo a few of them. And we did a bunch. We did array list, doubly linked list, singly linked list. We did a queue, a priority queue, a stack, binary search tree, and a ring buffer, all in Rust using unsafe when we needed to, and it was a lot of fun. So that's kind of a cool series if you guys are into the Rust things. We're going to go back to it eventually. I want to do a few more. But this was like when I was learning Rust. It's kind of how I learned Rust, is writing all these data structures. And now I want to do it now that I actually know Rust pretty well, like see if I can make some nice videos out of it. So doing DSA in Rust is definitely possible, user bin cat. It doesn't have its difficulty, but it is pretty fun. Yeah, DSA as in data structures and algorithms. Yes. Yeah, I know the security folk might think it's something else. But you can get most of those things on my YouTube. I do occasionally post stuff on Twitter about the Rust and OCaml stuff, so you can follow me there as well. And then if you want to hang out with me and Dylan Mulroy and a couple other streamers, we do it all on Discord. Yeah, we did the data structures on stream. Yeah. So there's VODs on YouTube for all that, because it's beyond what Twitch has history of. So yeah, thanks again for the raid, low level, and let me just catch up on chat here. Came for code and contour. I like that. Hey, dude streams. Hey, Shy Rye. Thanks for dropping in. Oh, yeah, we can do some switch testing. Nix config for the fireplace. That would be perfect, Runic. Somebody's like, he was doing Rust? What? All sorts of unsecured Rust code out there. If there is like a particular data structure you guys care about, I could run through it. It could be fun. All right. Nice. Did it on stream. Okay. Perfect. I think I show a freaking unsecure Rust code and then I can sleep peacefully. What's the hype about Nix? I can talk about that. Linked list. You want to see a linked list? Linked list isn't bad. Linked list is one of my favorite. It's not bad at all. Should we do a linked list run through real quick? Because you think a linked list in Rust is going to be painful, and it's really not that painful, honestly. All right, I'll bring that up, but let's get the switch test out, and then that way I can go back to the I can go back to that since that's up. But otherwise, I'll forget about the switch test. All right. So let's see who redeemed switch test. That was Pon 0x80. Redeemed a switch test. A linked list in OCaml is so easy though. Let's see. I think I have it under here. So if we open this up, go over here. Here we go. I've got this little KLH switch tester that has all these colors. So you can pick one or two of these if you're around Pon, and and I can show you one of the colors if you want to hear it and see it. That's true. The linked list is already there, Ryan. Or did you just redeem switch test without having any idea what it does, Pon? Is that what actually happened? It's certainly possible. Let's see. All right. Zoomed Keeb. Here we go. Here's my extremely clean desk. He didn't answer. I mean, what do you guys want to see? Does somebody else want to hear a switch? I mean, he redeemed it. You can use his points if there's a particular switch that you want to hear. Kali Red Pro Linear. All right, let's see. Red Pro Linear. We've got, well, what do we have here? Burgundy is your favorite color. There is a burgundy. We could do burgundy. I don't see, I see a box red. I see red bean pudding, and I see a box V2 red and a super speed red. We can do the red and the burgundy. I can handle that. All right. Here's burgundy. You can see this nice pretty burgundy color here. We're going to put a little red keycap on it. I'll pause the music. All right. Here we go, guys. Here's a burgundy. That's a burgundy. Granted, it's like right up at the mic. It's not bad. That's burgundy. Let's see, what's this for reference? We have a white over here for reference. Classic white click. Burgundy doesn't have the click. It pretty much feels like a little bit heavier red, I'd say. That's how I would describe it. I like white a lot. The white is nice. We'll do the V2 red as a comparison. Yeah, slightly heavier red. That's what I would describe the burgundy as. So there you go. Switch test. Giveaway keyboard. You use the box whites and you love them. Oh, that's cool. I didn't remember that. BG. It's probably your favorite ones. Yeah. I forgot that. You just got a keyboard recently. I forgot what you got though. Did you get a glove? No, you didn't get a glove. You got a Voyager. You got a Voyager. I remember now. Yeah. All right. We can play the music again. All right. Here's the linked list in Rust. We use our friend box, right? Okay. We have a linked list struct type, right? That has head and stores len. You don't have to store len, but I did. And then we have our node struct, which has our val and our next. And our linked list is pretty simple. We have a new where we construct. We have a push front. We do some option magic here. Not that much magic. But we're not even doing any hard borrowing or anything like that. The box just kind of handles our lifetimes. It handles everything for us, right? So we have push front and we have pop front. Those are really the only two things that matter. I did implement get, which in general you would not do. This is basically like an inth function, right? Get by index. That's not a typical linked list one. I just did that for testing purposes. So that doesn't even really count. If you just want your basic linked list, you have new push front, pop front. What is this? Like 27 lines of code? Not bad. Not bad. But if you put it all together, including, let's see, where is it? There we go. The reason that you need get in this implementation is because it's 69 lines of code. So I didn't want to remove get when it's literally the perfect length of any source code file, not including the test at the end, right? So that's your linked list in Rust, your singly linked list, of course. But yeah, there you go. It was pretty fun. See, it's starting to grow on you. Yeah, Rust and Python together don't sound like the best thing. Yeah, I did a little bit of C. So I did 12 languages in 4 weeks or whatever I called it. Let's see. There we go. And that was my first time writing C code. I know, I'm sorry, low levels audience. I know you guys are C Andes, but that was my first time actually purposefully writing C code. So that's what we did. And it's because I don't have a CS degree, if that's not obvious. I mean, not everybody writes C in college, but a lot of people do, right? If you have a CS degree. So we did these 12 languages in 4 weeks on stream. It was pretty fun. Just touring all that. So it was pretty good. I bet you'll get there, Pawn. You'll get there. It's not like I learned those languages. We toured them. We explored them. C and Java are the only languages my uni even teaches, and C++ for advanced OOP. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's pretty common, the C and Java stuff. I mean, once in a while, if your uni has a functional course, they'll do something else. But I've heard a lot of places are doing functional courses in like JavaScript. I don't like saying the other way, or even Python, which I think is lame. Besides that series, Pawn, I haven't really done any C on Twitch. You do Schema Racket at your uni? Yeah, exactly. So I write a Lisp full time for my job. So I write Clojure at my job. So I'm also a Lisper. And but I hadn't really done Schema Racket until I did this series, and that was fun to do these and see how they're similar to Clojure, but still very different. So that part's pretty fun. Trying to use Golang more. Lots of Golang jobs, at least in the US, that's for sure. You did a programming language theory class where you did a tour of stuff. Prolog, Lisp, Perl, Smalltalk. That makes sense. Oh, that's cool, Rootfin. Very cool. So yeah, why Nix? I mean, really, if you don't know why Nix, you should just go follow BG and ask him. There's a lot of streamers in chat right now, but if you don't know BG, here he is. He's probably the main Nix person on Twitch. He's not probably. He's the main Nix person on Twitch. It's Nix. Come on. It's esoteric stuff. It's out there. But yeah, Nix basically lets us have what I would call declarative, highly reproducible builds of just about anything. And that's why Nix is pretty cool. There's no way I can read through all those follows, but I really do appreciate every single one of them. I super appreciate you giving me a follow, and I hope to see you back at some point. So yeah, thanks so much for all those follows. That's all you need to do. You just need to print stuff out. I mean, you can write whole programs just printing stuff out, Pawn. That's not bad. How has it been using OCaml with Nix after doing it for some time? I'm laughing because I've written very little actual OCaml code in the last month. I've mostly just been writing Nix. The reason why, for those of you who don't know, is another streamer, Leostera, has been writing so many different libraries for OCaml. So for those of you who don't know, OCaml just came out with multi-core, right? OCaml is an old language, okay? So like ML, think ML 70s, around the same time as C, Camel 80s, early 80s, and Haskell late 80s, I think, early 90s, and then OCaml, which was pretty much just camel with some object-oriented stuff tacked onto it. I think that was late 90s, if I remember right. Yeah. Okay, 1990. Prophet. I just mentioned Haskell and Prophet showed up. Is anyone surprised? I don't think so. I don't know when Ada was, man. I just know a little bit about the ML stuff. And I tried to follow dates for the tour of languages. So that's the other reason. I tried to follow dates and I was like, oh yeah, well Haskell came before OCaml, but that was before I found out about like that camel even existed. But Nix uses its own language called Nix. Yep. So Nix is an OS, a package manager, and a language. And so the Nix language is a functional language. It's dynamic. It doesn't have types. It's not the best language in the world, but it's okay. And it's what we have. Yeah, that's why it's so confusing to Google about. Yeah. Totally fair. Should we find out when Ada was? Ada programming language, just for funsies. 1980 was Ada. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so anyway, Leo's been building like a crazy amount of libraries since multi-core OCaml came out. That's OCaml 5. Now and he's built an actor framework, which if you're familiar with the Beam, Erlang, Elixir stuff, it's basically like porting some of the ideas from Erlang and Elixir and the actor model over to OCaml, and that's called Riot. And so for better or for worse, I just call it the Riot stack. And there's probably about 15 different libraries loosely connected. And I've been writing flakes for all of them. And we're basically done with the major stuff for the actual Riot stack. We do have the suri-framework, which is like the web framework built on Riot. And then we also have Serde. So anybody of you that are into Rust, this is basically a port of Serde from Rust into OCaml using a lot of the same principles. It's not a one-for-one port because OCaml doesn't have all the things that Rust has. But it's heavily inspired. Well, we'll say that. Yeah, you can write Nix for Nix on Nix. You got it, Gio. That's absolutely right. Oh no, what is this tweet that he implemented a basic ray tracer in the Nix config language? That's so bad. Totally general purpose. Now Bad Cop. That's Bad Cop's next arc. If she didn't have like a basic level of disgust anytime someone mentions Nix, she would, you know, go to Nix stack next. Make Nix a SAS ready language. Yeah, rewrite Nix and Bash. There you go, Ryan. So true. Yeah, that's funny. Call it Bish. Oh my god. Only you, Ryan. Only you. Thanks for the follow, Stuart. Appreciate it. So, yeah, we're in the middle of actually making sure that this build works for Mint T now that the Mint T code was updated. A new version of Mint T just came out. Mint T is a TUI framework for OCaml inspired. It's essentially a port of Go's Bubble Tea, but in OCaml. So, you know, we're kind of just stealing a bunch of stuff from other languages that are good. And yeah, cool. So our build worked. That means nobody added any weird dependencies or or any new dependencies since the last version. So everything worked. That makes me happy. And that means that this build works just fine. The next thing I wanted to do is test out this one oddity about this flake, which is that it technically brings in itself in order to make the way the dependency tree works. I just explained it right before the raid, so I don't feel like explaining it again, but we'll get there. Nix config to set up PowerShell on Nix OS. Oh no. So let's just make like a really basic change to spices would probably be the easiest way for me to test this out and make sure that everything doesn't blow up. Really, I just need some level of hash change, so it doesn't even really matter what change I make. We'll just add an extra thing here and see what happens. This is the most exciting part of the stream, is watching the build run. This is the most entertaining thing you're going to see all day. Geo saying we should call it Fash. That would be literally the worst name. It's the only reason you're here, yeah. Brought to you by Intel. Yeah, Purplish knows what's up. This is an Intel-based MacBook, so don't take the build times as being indicative of any problem except with my own computer. And it is a MacBook because #work pays, okay? Hey, what's up, Priv? We're getting there. You're building the query part for OCaml? Cool. Very cool. So while that's running, let's figure out what we're going to do next. Assuming this build works, we'll open the PR with this update, making sure that showing that it works with everything, works with the newest version of Mint T. And then we will move on to the Suri stuff. There will be quite a few blockers there because we basically have to wait for each step of this to get merged in. I don't have merge access to the repo, probably a good choice on Leo's part. So we'll just have to make a bunch of pull requests and then we'll go to the serde.rs. Okay, so the build worked. That would have built the default package, but it actually leaves where it brings in some interesting stuff. It shouldn't take quite as long since we already built Mint T. So fingers crossed, it just has to build the actual leaves package and it'll be done. JPod, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Cool. So our build works even with our little change. That means my little trick is working the way that I want it to. So let's just restore spices border ML. And I think this is ready. Let's just give our flake one more look over and make sure that this works. This all looks good. I updated the version. Did I delete the whole? Yeah, okay. I had some old config in here that I did delete already. So this is good. So we'll commit that. And I already forgot the commit. That's how he likes it. Okay. Chore Nix update Nix Flake for 0.0.3. We'll just say that. That's not exactly true. It's true enough. Would help if I actually pushed it to my fork. And there we go. Update Nix Flake for 0.0.3. And let's look at our diff. We removed our self input and instead replaced it with our follows equals slash. Updated version. Updated this to actually use the spices from this package. So that's very cool. This updates the flake for 0.0.3 and fixes an issue where a change in spices locally would cause a failing build. Okay. One pull request opened. Let's go. And let's see. So mint tea is done. I think I can just delete this all together. Dajo, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And the next thing we're going to do, and this might be interesting for those of you new to Nix, is we're just going to build a new flake from scratch for, let's see, OCaml, it looks like, will be our first one. So the first thing we have to do is get in here. I've already cloned this locally, but I don't think I've started on the flake yet. So let's see where we're at. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I might have. I already started on it. Just kidding. You're not going to get to see a brand new flake. All right. So, yeah, absolutely. All of Leandro's stuff is open to contributions. There's one example. This is a socket pool for Riot. But yeah, this is one example of one of the repos. It's totally for nerds. You're so right, Destroyer. Stupid, smelly nerds. Am I right? And if you don't know that reference, it is a joke. Okay. Let's see. So OCaml has bench and dunk. Let's open the flake and see how far we got. Okay, we actually got pretty far. Okay. I didn't realize that I'd already built this. How about this? But the main thing I want to do is update this to what I think is a nicer looking format when you have a bunch of inputs, which we're going to change this into here. And then we're going to say Riot equals. And then we're going to say inputs dot nix packages dot follows equals nix packages. And URL equals GitHub RiotML Riot. Just give me the exe. Come on. All right. And just because I'm good at forgetting, let me make sure this is how I like it. Yeah. Okay. So we can actually copy this over. And then we just have telemetry. You're going to go full serious now, Priv? I really see that working out for you. I feel like, yeah, I like the URL above. I think it looks nicer. And that's at Leostera, telemetry. And okay. Add some white space for funsies. How are you supposed to make money on X then? Yeah, you definitely can't make money, or at least get fake internet points or anything on X unless you troll. Okay, so let's just make sure that our current version is OCaml. Latest commit was 2 months ago, so that means that we should be good. We're going to say 004. We're going to say plus dev in our case, since these really are dev builds. I can walk through this really quick. So basically, these are dependencies. These inputs are dependencies on things that are not in Nix packages, which is like, as you can imagine, it'd be like something not on NPM, right? So these are like straight GitHub dependencies, except not quite straight GitHub dependencies. They're GitHub dependencies that already have flakes built. So since I built the flake for Riot, I built the flake for telemetry, we can now depend on those flakes here. They're basically like transient dependencies that are still using Nix. You can do like complete raw Git dependencies if you want to, but we don't need to since we have, you know, since Leo's nice enough to humor us Nix people. So one of the cool things about Nix is the cross-platform aspect. So basically by writing this one flake, and because of the way Nix works, because it's so reproducible, this one flake is going to support a build on all of these systems. This means that you don't need opam installed on your computer. You don't need the OCaml toolchain installed on your computer at all. You can actually just build using Nix. As long as you have Nix installed, you can build this software, you can make edits, you can build more software, and you can even get a full dev shell out of it. So that part is pretty cool. Correct. There's flake files in each of those repos that are in my inputs up there. Yeah. So that part's pretty cool. That's just our project name and our project version. And this creates our little dev shell. I don't have that open right now, but let's actually check. I probably did not make the changes to git ignore. Oh, I did. Okay. That means probably that I have a whip commit. So let's get that up. And let's see what changes. Yeah, cool. I'm glad I noticed that. How do you import packages from Nix packages that are available? So it depends on where those are at, but that's basically what this part is doing. So here's our dev shell, and this stuff is actually coming from Nix packages. So for instance, utop is in our dev shell, and utop is the OCaml REPL, and that's coming from Nix packages. And then down here for our actual dependencies. So it depends on what language you're using and all that stuff. Build Dune package. Dune is a build system for OCaml. So we use the build Dune package function. Basically, you figure out all that stuff as you're going along. And that's essentially like provided. The way I would say is it's like provided by Nix. That might not be the best way of putting it. That's the way I think about it. Like, I didn't write this function. This is just what's provided by Nix. Ask BG if that doesn't make sense. And so MDX and ODoc, for instance, are dependencies that are in Nix packages. Yeah, Nix provides how to build this thing and you import the config. Yeah. Yeah, totally. So this is all in Nix packages, and then these are my transient dependencies, right? Where I had to have flakes in the repo because these aren't in Nix packages yet. I hope to eventually get this stuff in Nix packages, but right now I'm mostly just trying to support development and people who want to like easily get transient dependencies on all of these libraries. Because right now, most of the time, a lot of these aren't even in OPAM yet, which means you can't even use the normal OCaml package manager to get this stuff yet. So you have to do annoying things. There's a 200K queue right now in Nix packages. Well, then it's definitely not something I need to prioritize at this time, right? Cool. So that's kind of the basic tour of this flake. Let's make sure it works. And I can't remember. Oh, we know what this is. This is me forgetting to actually add it to Git, which I do basically every time. Okay. What did we hate? Unable to download. Oh, did he move telemetry? I wouldn't be surprised. Leo, did you move telemetry? Or am I crazy and I never added a Nix Flake for telemetry? Did I spell it wrong? I spelled it wrong. It's a typo. It's a typo. It's a me problem. Big surprise. Big shock. It's a skill issue. Never happened before. This is the first time I've ever had a skill issue on stream. Right, guys? Right? Typing's so hard. All right. So we're going to wait for that to build. And while we do, let's see if we have any other. Okay. So there's just a single package in this repo. So this is actually basically done. So we'll probably need to move on to Serde because I have to wait for this to get merged anyway for the next thing to even work. So the next dependency, because the next library is dependent on Atacama. That is so true too, Zen. Oh my god, people who've never streamed. I mean, some people maybe have the personality that they literally don't care. But sometimes the pressure gets to you a little bit, you know? It's been fun, like learning how to live code, learning how to deal with all of that, all the eyes that I can't see but I know are watching me. It's definitely a different ball game. Does that work? Something like that? Okay. So this is my computer's typical MO, which is let's just like really hang for a while on something that doesn't seem to actually matter. So while that's happening, let's go into Serde and see where we're at. I already started the flake for Serde too. I'm so good at this. I just amaze myself sometimes. Okay, so let's look at Serde's flake and see how far it is. All right, so this looks fine. We'll just want to change how the inputs are done. And okay. So this is going to have serde derive and serde JSON. Okay, so I've only done serde. I mostly just copied the mint-t repo for this. So we'll see how that goes. Let's check on our build for Atacama, and it failed. Package bytes has multiple definitions, and package sec has multiple definitions. Did I mess something up? Oh, these are the find lib errors. I think did I forget to put my follows in? I didn't think so. Oh, I know what it is. I know what this is. This is because I've already tried to build and my flake lock, so you probably noticed here, my flake lock like holds because again, Nix is all about reproducibility. It holds what it tried to build last time or what it built last time for like Riot, for instance. So what I probably need to do, most likely, is a little Nix Flake update. And this will get the current version of all of the dependencies, all the inputs, including those transient dependencies. And then hopefully this error will go away. We'll find out if that's true. Any sandboxing compiling env. I'm not sure what you mean, Patrick. All right. Another time my computer likes to hang. Love it. High quality hardware here, guys. I guess this is what happens when your MacBook gets 5 years old. It just stops working. We're kind of used to it at this point. We just have to do a couple things at once. We have to multitask. It's just pacing. It doesn't want to do too much, all right? My computer is very much into the 4-day work week. Let's just say that. It's probably more into a 1-day work week, if we're being honest. It doesn't want to burst into flames. That's fair, actually. That is totally fair. Okay. So now forgot the semicolon. URL equals GitHub Leostera. I put a random space. I should have just copied this. Mint T goes back to what we were saying about typing earlier. And now we can get rid of this. Okay. Let's see if that update didn't. Nope, it still didn't finish. Love it. All right. So let's open up Serde and see where we're at. Did I create a fork of this yet? I might not have. Okay, looks like I did not. Nice. Okay, so now we're up to date with the current state of main, and we're still on 001. We just want to add a plus dev because it's not truly 001. So we're just using that as our little naming convention. Let's see where we're at. It's still fucking doing this. All right, sometimes if I just cancel it and try it again, it just works. So we'll see if that's true. It also could be if like I added a verbose. Oh my god, don't say that, Zana. The Matrix is 25 years old. I mean, I guess I was a teenager when it came out. I was a teenager. I'm an old man. All right. Yeah, I'd say it's still like a pretty solid movie. You put it on a CD in 3 discs because we didn't. You just couldn't get a DVD burner or something. Okay. Because the download thread. Okay, look at that. Basically empty. Empty? No, immediate. That's what I meant to say. So let's try another Nix build now and see what happens. The lobby scene being a benchmark for compression onto a single CD. Yeah, that's fair. You may have procured it through different avenues. BG's CD passed, right? It's just so BG right there. Okay, so now we got a Nix build of this going through. The cannot link errors or whatever. That doesn't really matter. Let's try a Nix build here and see where we're at. Okay, okay. I missed a semicolon somewhere. Ah, that one. That would be it. 2024, March 9th. Oh, we're actually going to need a... We'll probably need to do a Nix Flake update on this one as well. Cool. Let's see. What did we get? Oh, yeah. This just happens and due to networking issues. You got to love that. Networking issues. Okay. We'll just retry that one. And yeah, we just need to do the update again on Serde. Looks good. No hang that time. And we'll do a build there. We've got this build running. I mean, we're just doing great. Fetching LLVM. Let's go. There we go. There's some C for you guys. I mean, we got LVM, we've got Clang. What else do you guys need? I do kind of remember the lobby scene just blowing my mind. Like the first time you watch that movie, that lobby scene like blew my mind. It was pretty darn epic. Are you kidding me? Again? Okay. BG, am I missing something here if you're still here? The whole cannot link blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah. Does that one actually matter? I'm used to the networking thing, and then you just retry and it works. It doesn't actually matter. Okay. It really is just a retry situation. Okay. It's good to have friends that know things, by the way. You should try it. Okay. So this is working. This is going through it. I guess while this is building, we could start working on our other packages that are in, because Serde is a monorepo as well. So let's look at what serde.rs has, and we'll see where we want to go from there. So if we go into here and we look at the Dune project in Serde, Serde derive depends on Serde, and Serde JSON depends on Serde derive and Serde. Okay, so that means that we want to start with Serde derive. We'll leave Serde JSON commented out. we'll go up here and do this the easy Emacs way. And go here and say serde.rs. Serde.rs. And what do we have? We have OCaml, check, ppx deriving, ppx lib, and serde and Dune. Okay. So self.packages.default is actually what we want. That's going to give us our dependency on serde. We won't need the one for spices. And then ppx deriving, basically all of your Dune packages are just named the same as they are in the Dune file. So if we do ppx deriving and ppx lib, we should be good. I didn't mean to do that. I'm not supposed to save it. It doesn't actually matter. It's already evaluated derivation, but oh, it already finished the build. Yay. Okay, so the Nix build serde worked. So that makes me happy. So now we can try serde derive since we just finished that. And while serde derive is running, we can move on to serde JSON. Right. And nope. Serde JSON. And this takes self.packages.default. And it also takes self.packages.serde derive. Okay, Nix build serde derive worked. Let's check on our Atacama build. Okay. Expression has type. Okay, good. So we finally got a package error, and that's fine. Like, it's okay for me to get a package error, but I just needed to make sure that my flake actually worked. So this means there's not a problem with the flake. If I was to build this with Dune itself, it would still fail. This is just a problem with the current state of Atacama, and that just means I need to touch base with Leo or try to do some debugging and see what's up with this. It could be that I have something out of date in a dependency, but we'll take a look at that after we finish the serde stuff. Since serde is just behaving so well right now. So let's take a look at serde JSON. Okay, so we have some more Riot stack dependencies here. So let's just do this for now. I'm just going to put that here so I don't have to keep going back and forth. And what do we have? We have inputs Rio and inputs minty spices, which I think we've already defined above. We don't need our MDX. And Rio spices, yo JSON, Q check, and ppx inline test. Okay. Looks like that's all of our dependencies for serde JSON. I don't think I've defined Rio. Oh, Rio's already used up here because serde uses it. Sweet. So that means I don't have to do anything there. We already have all of our dependencies. Everything's wrong with VS Code. I'm just kidding. Are you asking that non-ironically, I'm guessing, like for reals? You want some not fully custom made music? Like, what sort of music are you shilling? I mean, I think VSC is fine for people to use if they want to. I used it for a few years when it first came out. I like the way you can use, like, I use Emacs with Evil Mode, which is Vim Motions. I am eventually going to get into using NeoVim for some workflows, but yeah. You want to give me a link? Is this music you made, Kale? There's just certain things that I want to use NeoVim for. Okay, I'm not quitting Emacs. There's certain things I want to use NeoVim for, and certain things I want to use Emacs for. I want to use them what they're good for. That's all. Okay, Nix build serde.JSON worked, which means our flake is freaking done. It's freaking great. The only thing we didn't do is update our git ignore, most likely. And this will also show us how these dev shells work, so we might as well go through that. I did update it. That means there's a whip blog. Okay. I didn't realize that. Git undo. Do I have... I don't have it in here, right? Okay, nope. Echo use flake dot mbarc durim allow. Okay, so this will show the dev shell thing, which I don't think I've shown today, and how that works. Oh, nah. Might help if I do this. All right. Since I did an undo, it unstaged all those. Okay, so we're gonna evaluate that. Let's just do a dev shell for Atacama and make sure that our Dune build is failing here. Just make sure that everything is not working. Let's be sure that things aren't working. All right. Yeah, you can post a link, Kale. That's fine. I can't say I'm going to use it, but you can post it. Hey, Prophet. The one thing that might get me to switch to NeoVim is if I can get an extension to work that fixes the silly hover limitations in LSP. Yeah. You're still using VSC, right? Still. I mean, I've heard people that have used VSC have been very happy with Zed, but you know, it's still definitely a work in progress. Okay, so now we have, you kind of see my little starship thing. Oh yeah, there's that whole thing too, Alice. the whole thing that you can only use it if you have a Mac. Sorry about that. I'd never tried to install it, so I also forget these things. Granted, it would work since I'm on a Mac, but yeah. You know, of course, VSZ uses what's it called? Electron and Zed. You know, Shirai is a NeoVim shell now. Just another Twitch NeoVim shell. Okay. We've got some Mixers Tower Defense OST going. Okay. Very interesting. I'll have to check that out sometime. No, not me too. You can't put me in that list. All right, where were we? I forgot. Oh yeah, we were just making sure that this Atacama thing isn't a me problem. So the problem is that running Dune build here isn't necessarily going to tell us that, because all of my dependencies are still coming in from Nix. So this Dune build is still using all this stuff. Libraries EIO main not found. Really? And this is in bench. Oh, interesting. LS. This is for bench. I wonder why this didn't show up in my Nix build, or did it and I just missed it? No, it didn't. Interesting. I feel like the bench is probably something different, but let's look at our build for OCaml. I don't know if I'll listen to it today, but I have it open in another tab, so I'll listen to it eventually. Kale, are you just going around like shilling your music to different Twitch streamers, and you're wondering why people don't want to listen to it? It's hilarious. It's pretty funny. All right, there you go. There's your answer. Eventually, I'll probably listen to it, unless you keep asking. All right. OCaml. What was I doing? Does anybody remember? I just wanted to see what this whole bench thing was. Okay. Bench. Dune. Executable name echo, executable HTTP server, and executable echo EIO. SoundCloud is a thing. That is true. Okay. Interesting. I feel like this is just a like the benchmark thing. Maybe I need to say, what if I say Dune build OCaml? Do I still get that? Okay, good. I get what I expected. I get this. Okay, so Dune build bench gives me this. I don't actually care about bench. It's about running some sort of benchmark or something like that. I'm a little confused since bench doesn't actually have an opam file in here, so I didn't really expect to have to like run a build for that. Let's look at the Dune project again. Yeah, bench isn't actually mentioned in here. Isn't there like a custom build file you can write? Doc examples, Flake, OCaml, bench. Not really. Kind of confused why Dune build by default would just try to build bench. TBH. Okay, that's fine. But at least we reproduce this error. Let me just make sure that this isn't due to an out of date dependency in OCaml. OCaml connector.ml. Yeah. Okay. What do we actually depend on in OCaml? We have MDX, we have ODoc. I've used MDX so many places. I'm sure it's not that. I think it might actually just be that there's a bug in OCaml. So I'm just going to copy this and throw it in the Riot Discord and ask Leandro about it. I guess this is under web. Got this build error while trying to build a Nix Flake for OCaml. Is this expected? Okay. Cool. So we're probably a little blocked on the OCaml build, but at least we got our serde flake written. Did I add fork? I did. Okay. So let's just give our serde flake one more look over before we open a playlist. Playlist, oh my god. Before we open, open a pull request. There we go. Nice. I figured it out. Serde. Flake. There we go. I know what I'm doing. And we've got our inputs. We've got our follows going. For Rio, for Mentee, and Serde depends on Rio. This looks good. Okay, that should be fine. And Rio doesn't depend on Mentee, doesn't depend on Rio. That's the first thing I need to make sure. I'm pretty sure that it does not. It does not. And Rio doesn't depend on spices. I'm like 99% sure that's true. Yeah, it has no transient dependencies. Okay, cool. So this flake is good to go. CM chore Nix, add Nix Flake for serde. Beautiful. And we got a pull request here. GitHub should show me this little thing. And I'm not going to put a description because I've opened so many of these, and we'll look at it here. Get ignore looks good. And this is all new. Looks good. Sweet. 2 PRs open for today, so that's cool. We did our update to the Mentee flake, and now we've done an update, or a new flake for serde. Okay. This looks good. Ooh, I just remembered. I actually will want to... I'm actually thinking of closing this because I will, once the Mentee PR goes through. Let's see. Let me make sure this is true. No, it should be fine. It should be good. We shouldn't have any issues. Yeah, it'll be okay. All right. I think we're good. Because this already has Nix package as follows. Basically, I was just making sure that we wouldn't have an issue where somebody couldn't make an update to spices locally and then get that to work in serde if they wanted to change all their dependencies to local dependencies. But this should actually work fine. Nightshade, what is this? What is this random link you've sent me? Never just open a link that Nightshade sends you. I mean, it's even a picture. Look at this. It's completely obscene. Unbelievable. That looks really good, though. Those like praline almonds or something. Clearly they're almonds. And clearly they have something on them. Oh, nuts. Nice. That's what I should have said when I opened the picture. Ugh. You know, my brain just doesn't work as fast as yours, clearly. Okay, cool. So serde is done. With serde open, let's update our notes and then see where we want to go from there. serde.ml flakes. Okay, we're gonna have to make this a little more PR open. This is going to be serde slash just serde itself. Serde slash serde derive and serde, not derde, serde JSON. Okay, and then similar to the way I have these other ones, I like to put all of my dependency trees so that if I have to make an update that's necessary and propagate it down to all the other flakes, I have my dependencies correct. So I just add this, which this has a deps on minty spices and Rio. Serde derive has deps on serde. And that's it for transient dependencies. And serde JSON has deps serde, minty spices, and Rio. Oh, and serde derive. Serde derive. Okay. Looks good. So now I just need to see what's left in the serde packages that I haven't done yet. There's quite a few in different states, probably. The main language in Tamil is Nix. It's hilarious. Why is this not working? Why is my computer being weird? I'm literally just trying to open stuff. Yeah. Dune and Spice. It's pretty good, right? Okay. I probably opened things several times, but that's fine. User Bing Cat, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Let's see. S expression support. Who is Dylan Mulroy? Who is that? Software engineer at Vercel? Oh my god. Who would do that? All right. Switch testing. Let's go. Yeah, we can do that in a second. I'm trying to decide how deep I want to go into all of this. I think it just depends on if this stuff is actually working, on whether I want to like go through and build for it. So what I'll probably do to start with is just get dev shells working for them and make sure that they actually build before I go through, and because these are in different stages of development. So I don't know if they're actually working yet. I am spreading Nix like a virus. You're absolutely right about that. Okay, here's CSV. Initial commit. I'm gonna say that one's not ready for me to build a flake for. Yeah, I would say not. Okay, we're gonna leave that one alone. Serde YAML is empty. It's actually the one I'm thinking of doing myself. I might actually do serde YAML myself. Serde JSON I know is working. Otherwise, what's the point of having serde at all if it's not even working for JSON? Okay, so serde JSON I'm pretty sure is in a good state. He hasn't actually published a release, so we'll just call it 001 plus dev. So we might build that flake today. Let's look at serde Tamil. Oh, I bet this is RMU. Yeah, I was gonna say RMS, just out of habit. No wonder it has Nix. He's already built his Nix flake. RMS. Oh my god, I said RMS again. RMU has helped me a lot with my Nix stuff as well. He's been great. Okay, so we'll leave that alone until and see if he wants to copy over the way that I'm doing Nix flakes, just so everything is like done done in the same way for the whole stack, but we'll at least do the JSON one. I did. It's just like you to send me a picture of your nuts. I asked if they were praline almonds, though. What are you putting on those nuts? How salty are they? They looked pretty salty. Did we get enough candied almonds? Did we get enough middle school humor jokes in? I don't know. Sugar and cinnamon. All right. Looks great, actually. I mean, it makes me hungry. I love some candied nuts. Does anybody else love candied nuts? Oh no, user bin cat. I forgot to do the switch test. You have time for a switch test, or do you want to do it next time? I think he left. He's gone. I'll refund his points. I got distracted. Let's go. User bin cat. Refunding points. Hope you have a good night. All right. Here we go. Okay, so we don't actually have to wait, and this might be kind of interesting to some of you as well, who are kind of following along with this next stuff. We don't actually have to wait till the main serde flake is in for us to build the next flake, right? So basically we can just depend on it locally as a transient dependency, which of course works and is very easy to do and to change to the GitHub dependency when we get there. It doesn't seem to matter what I code. You always make you number 2. What does that mean, Prep? What are you talking about? Let's see. Right, so I guess serde... Oh, now I'm confused because there's serde JSON already in serde. And then there's JSON outside of serde, which is also called serde JSON. So is it that it's actually been split out, but he just didn't update, he didn't delete it from the main serde repo? That might be the case. Admittedly confused, but I guess I will just ask him what's up with that. Let's go into serde. So there's a thank you, Emil, for the sub. I super appreciate it. JSON in the serde repo and a serde.ml/JSON repo, which is the current one in use. Should we have Nix Flakes for both or just for one? Okay. Every else you are a 10x engineer. Well, I think you're a 10x engineer in my heart, Priv. You are. Okay. So then there's not really anything to do. Let's see. Well, let's think about this. Serde JSON last week had development on it. Okay. And if we go into the main serde repo, focusing is hard. You just have to, why don't you stream? Then you can focus. Serde JSON also had a commit 2 weeks ago. I'm officially not sure which one is correct. So I'm just gonna leave that question out there. Wait for him to answer those questions about Atacama and about Serde. So I think we're kind of done with our Nix stuff for Riot as far as we can go. Today. Because all the other implementations, they're not even there. I guess I could see if Dylan's is working. Should we just try? We'll see if this is working. Sure. Do Dylan a favor. Just always doing Dylan favors, you know? Did not expect that to have anything. We'll just copy the one from Serde. Let's see, that looks good. Okay. So this actually should be good enough for the most part. Let's just delete some stuff that we don't need. So this is going to be serde.ml /sexpr. Nope, wrong one. Okay. So here we only need the default package, which makes some of this kind of silly, but that's fine. Okay. That's packages. This should be built-in package. Looks good. All right, so now let's just check out the Dune project. Not what I meant to do. For this, depends on Serde derive, spices, PPX inline test, and sedlex. I kind of remember sedlex. Did I use sedlex somewhere else? I can't remember. But let's just not worry about whether the actual build is working yet. We'll just pretend this is good enough, and we'll at least get a dev shell out of it, or at least we should. RC Durham allow, and then we should have access to Dune, and we'll see if the build's even working at all. Oh, I guess we need all the packages though. This isn't going to work the way that I was thinking that it was going to. That's annoying. Okay, it's fine. We'll get there. Okay, so we have Minty and we have Serde as inputs. This would be fine. We're going to call this sexpr. Everything else looks good except our actual dependency lists, which spices is correct. We're going to need serde, and we're going to need serde derive. And what else do we need? Got spices. We need ppx inline test and setlikes. Okay. And let's just let that do its thing. Why did it say no such file or directory there? Just try a build. This is weird. Oh, I'm being dumb. Yeah, it's because we don't have this merged into serde yet. Okay. So all we have to do is point to our local version of serde. So we're going to give it our local path, which is /user/me oss serde. Yep. Should be right. And yeah. Did I mess that up? ls. Oh, it's serde.ml. I did mess it up. There we go. Things are working. Now, since serde actually depends on Menti as well, we are going to want to make sure they use the same same version of Menti. So let's just make sure that I'm not wrong about that. I am not wrong. And so in order for that to happen, all we have to do is similar to this. We say serde Menti follows Menti. Okay, let's just give up and try another Nix build. There we go. Hopefully this one works. Okay. I don't know about package sexpr, pass through -- only packages. Okay. Is it called something different here? Serde sexpr. Yeah, that would be why. Because this package name has to follow our actual project name, which you can kind of figure out from the opam file name. It's also listed in the Dune project. Sedlex is cool. Yeah, I've heard cool things about it. I've never used it. Let's see if your code builds, Dylan. Is your code gonna build? Unbelievable. I cannot believe that there is a freaking bug in your code. All right, I'm just kidding. I don't remember. I don't think there's been Sedlex in any other thing. Let's just look real quick, because I want to make sure it's not the one that I had dependency issues on. So let's just make sure. This is one thing you can do if you can't just make fun of who's ever written your project that you're trying to get a flake merged in for, because you don't know them. Is we can make sure. No, it's not particularly related to Sedlex, but I'm actually just, I want to make sure that we have the right versions for everything. either way. So let's just see if Nix packages Nix OS. I usually leave this open because I always forget where Nix packages search is. Nix, there it is, search. I just saw it. I just effing saw it. There it is. Search.nixos.org. Here we go. Emacs mentioned. Let's go. So we want to look for sedlex. And sedlex is on version 3.2. Looks good. And let's just check ppx inline test while we're here. Even though I'm sure we're good. Version 0.16.0. Nice. So this is one way to, like, even though this error does not seem at all related to our external dependencies, we're just making sure that Nix packages actually has a new enough version of the dependencies that are coming from Nix packages. So yeah, that does seem like a serde problem. Serde sexpr visitor.variant self visitor. So I'll just ping Dylan about it and make sure that he's actually getting this as well. Not like we actually know. Not like we know whether, you know, he's actually going to respond to me. Should I do it in the Riot Discord? Sure. Also, Dylan, maybe I'll just open a PR and he at least this will be the Nix Flake for him. And then he can tell me if this is happening locally for him or not. Let's just open the PR. Sure. Sure. Because I know how Dylan works and he'll just never get back to me because he'll forget. It's just so much pain, you know? All right. I think I've made fun of Dylan enough for one stream. All right. Let's see. Get add remote fork this. Get remote add. Love that one. Okay, we're good. And then we can cop Nix and get CM chore Nix add Nix Flake. Okay. Currently getting a build error. That I'm assuming is not due to the Nix build. Let me know if I'm wrong, Dylan. Okay, looks good. And let's just copy what that build error is. Okay. Right there. Looks good. All right. Nice. Third PR of the day. Let's go. We're getting somewhere. Okay, awesome. Let me see. I need to do a message check and then we can see what's next. I think we might have hit the Hey, Amanda, thanks. I appreciate it. Many years of hard work have led me to this point. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Let's just update our notes, and then we'll see if there's something else we want to do for a little bit. Let's say none of these are actually done. Follow done waiting. That's good enough. We do need to say what it's waiting on. And so the depth for sexpert is spices, serde, and serde.rs. See, serde, serde.rs, multi spices. Since it's not in the same package, we'll just do it that way. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to say build issue, so I remember what's actually happening here. And we'll just update this to say deps is Riot, because I'm not actually waiting on Riot for OCaml. And while we're here, do we have any other depths for OCaml? Riot and telemetry. Okay, that looks great. So those PRs are open. We're just waiting on a couple merges and waiting to hear back on a couple questions on whether we should build a flake for serde JSON or not. And I think we're good for the Riot stuff today. So I'm going to stop this recording here.